welcome to my channel. Today I wanted to get started on this coffee table. I bought this a couple of weeks, sorry, Pavlov just gave me a kiss. I bought this a couple of weeks ago at a second-hand shop for €10 and I think it's lovely, has beautiful legs and has nice cane on top. Usually I don't really like the look of cane, but I have an idea for it. Obviously this is not going to be a one-day project because a lot of things are going to need time to dry. My plan for this is several stages basically. I did try and look up online what are the stages that you need to do to repair or to give furniture a bit of a makeover, and I do feel like there wasn't really that much consensus on when to sand, when to prime and all of that. So what I am going to do, if you have some positive feedback or tips, definitely leave them in the comments for me or for anyone else who's reading the comments. But what I'm going to do is first I'm going to give everything a bit of just a gentle wash to get all of the oils from the wood and stuff, so it doesn't get into conflict with priming. So give it a little, some Rory. Give it a gentle wash. Then I'm going to dry it and give it a gentle sanding. I think I have a 100 grit sandpaper. So I'm just going to gently go over the wood and even more gently, I think, slightly go over the cane. I'm going to try underneath first how it reacts to the sandpaper. I want to spray paint the cane afterwards, so I think I'll need to give it just a little bit of sanding so that it'll take. Then wipe off all the dust from the sanding. Then I'm going to prime everything, both the cane and the wood. Then I'm going to do a lot of masking. After the priming, I am going to sand again. Although there wasn't much consensus, people did seem to often say after you've primed and before you paint, go for another round of sanding. So apparently more sanding. I know, more sanding. I'm shook as too. Get rid of all the dust from the prime sanding, and then I'm going to do a lot of masking because the cane I'm going to do a different colour than the wood, so both times I'm going to have to do a lot of masking. Oh, I'm going to love that job, especially since this is a round table, so the masking is going to be right. I did say in a previous video that I was going to do the restoring in the garage, and for most part I still stand by that, but the sanding at the moment I'm just going to do here. I'm in the living room, by the way, just because it's so cold in the garage. So cold, and the floor here needs a sweep and a mop anyway, so I'm just going to sand it here where it's warmer. The priming and stuff I will do in the garage, but it's early in the morning yet, so I'm hoping once the sun has hit the garage for a little bit that it'll warm up a bit. I did say in a previous video, and I had completely forgotten that I said that, and that I thought it as well, that because this is cane, there's no glass on top of this. It came without, so that probably broke at one point, and so they just sold it as is, which is probably why it was so cheap. And in a previous video I said I'll just use this as a decorative table, won't put much on it. I've kind of changed my mind on that because it is a lovely size, but it's also a big size table. To just use it for one coffee mug at a time seems like such a waste of space and piece of furniture. I thought, no, I do want to use it, so I went to look online for a company that would cut plexiglass, because you can also do glass, but I'm just too scared that if the dogs might one day stand on it suddenly and it break, I don't want shards. So I went for plexiglass. Eventually I only found one company that would cut to size in a circle. Apparently that's something special. Both the cutting and the actual, even the sending costs eventually cost more than the table itself, so but still it's rather cheap, and it's nice to give an old piece of furniture, you know, a second life. No idea how old it is. Hey sweet. Hello baby. But it arrived. I picked it up yesterday. Why is it blue? I really thought like, oh god, and I was touching like, is this like the bag, like the foil over it, and it didn't feel like that. I was like, oh god, did I just spend like 40 euros on blue plastic that I'm gonna have to send back and get a new one? But no, there actually is a foil stuck onto it really well. So it is transparent. This isn't going to be the final look. It's going to be look like glass. I've already had it fitted. I already had a look. It fits perfectly, so really glad with that. I'm very lucky that the table is a perfect circle. It's not an oval, because then it would have been way too difficult to get something cut to size. So mental note for myself, if I ever buy furniture in the future and think, I'll just have it cut to size, square or a circle is fine. Anything else, any other shape, no. That is just going to be too difficult to find any place that will do that. So that will be the last stage. I am procrastinating to get started. Okay, I'm just going to put on something to watch in the meantime, and I will get to cleaning first. Just a gentle wash, and then a gentle scrub. For those who haven't, I don't know if she's actually been on screen that often. This is Rory. This lovely girl is Rory. Yeah. Sweetie pie. She's just so lovely. Oh, sweets. Are you gonna help? No? No? Okay. No. Okay. She's going to supervise. She's a supervisor. Aren't you, sweetie? Yes. Good girl. Okay, so you can see I just gave it a wash, and this water is not nice, so it definitely needed a bit of a clean. So I'm now going to give it a bit of a sand. Got some new sandpaper. It's a medium. I will say I'm slightly scared. You have my back. Just want to show you the bottom before I get started, because like I said, I'm quite scared of sanding it, so I just want to start underneath to see what the effect is on the wood. But I also want to show you because it looks this wood has been stained. I'm not, this isn't like, what do you call it, cherry wood or something? This is, you can tell on the corners where it's already worn off a bit. This is the original wood, what it actually looks like. So this is just a very orangey red stain, which I'm not keeping because it's not really my vibe. But you can see the cane, the original color, also faded and quite discolored on the bottom. I wouldn't be surprised if, by the feel of it, they once dropped candle wax on here, and that it is soaked through all the little individual strips of cane. for me it doesn't really matter. You can't tell, and I'm going to put plexiglass on it anyway, so. On the inside as well, I don't know if this is a mark of the maker or a factory or something, but there is, I think this is upside down, A5? Is that a 5? But a weird 5 then. And Pavlov is over here just looking at me thinking, stop procrastinating and start actually doing the sanding. I'm sorry, sweetie. Are you supposed to sand in circles or in lines? Again, not the biggest consensus, but I think most say low pressure, like no pressure, small circles. Some say also with the grain, sand with in strips with the grain, but when you have like curvy legs, it's very difficult to just do a straight line. So I'm just going to do very gentle, small circular motions. I am kind of mixing going in circles and going with the grain. When it's like on the curvy leg, it's easier to go in circles, but when it's like within these grooves, it is just nigh impossible to get circles. So these are being done in just straight lines, but along the grain though, along the grain. Keep asking myself, how much do I actually have to sand? Is it just sand, scuffing it up a little bit so that the primer and then paint will stick to it? Or do I actually need to sand like the old veneer, which is coming off quite nicely and easily here? Is that how you know when you've sanded enough? When the stain that was on top, or the paint that was on top, is coming off? Because then I need to do the legs even more. I don't know. I don't know. Okay, so I've given everything a good sanding now. Well, I've given it a sanding. I don't know if it's a good sanding, but it's been sanded. And it's very dusty, very dusty. So I'm just going to give it a new, no! Bunny started gnawing on the wooden leg. Rude. Rude. So I'm going to give it a wash now, a gentle wash, just to get rid of all the dust before... I won't have time to prime it just now because I'm off in a minute to go and help friend move. So I'm just going to give it a gentle little sponge bath, and maybe I'll varnish it, prime it tonight when I get back if I have the energy, and otherwise it will be for tomorrow. Hello, it is the next day. I really wanted to get this varnished or primed yesterday. I got home from stripping wallpaper in someone else's house for a change. And I had the energy, I had somewhat the motivation, and yet I couldn't find a single one of my brushes. Not a single paintbrush. And all the stores were already closed, so I couldn't go out and buy any new ones. So I thought, okay, it's gonna be for tomorrow. And then right as I step out of the house, or I was about to step out of the house to go and vote, and then afterwards buy some new brushes, I find them. Typical, but fine. So today I want to get done priming the wood and the cane. Don't think that will take all that long. I looked at the at the tin, it should take about 2 hours to dry. So that'll give me plenty of time to hopefully later today also give it another sand, dust all of that dust off. And then I think I will start prepping the table, because I'm going to do the cane. I'm going to spray the cane and I'm going to paint the wood, so I'm going to have to tape it off. So let's get started. So if I can open the tin. I think I'm done, because I think I did 5 legs. So I'm going to let this dry for 2 hours. Okay. I'll see you in at least 2 hours. Gave it a light sanding, which felt wrong, but whatever. I'm now taping the cane off so that I only paint or catch the cane and not the wood. Not easy taping off a circle with straight paint. Tip: short bits. It is 8:30 p.m. on a Friday night, and I've just spent the last 2 minutes shaking not a cocktail but a can of spray paint. I am tired. I've come back home from work. I'm tired, but I'm just going to quickly spray paint the top, the cane of the coffee table gold-ish. We'll see what this gives. So it can dry overnight, and then hopefully tomorrow I can maybe finish it. I don't know if I'm going to need 2 coats of the spray paint or 2 coats of the paint. So okay, I think that did the trick. I won't really be able to tell until tomorrow, because the lighting inside the garage right now is very bad. Just have one overhead light. Oh my god, the smell. Oh, this is so not helping. I won't be able to tell until tomorrow how even it all is. Oh, I think I'm just gonna go over it just a little bit more. Okay, the can isn't working anymore, so I'm just gonna leave it to dry overnight. My god, the smell. going to tape off the inner circle, I guess, so that I only see the wood, so I can make a crisper line. Okay, so I finished the first layer of paint. Definitely going to need to do a second coat because the wood is still coming through around the edges a bit, so second coat will be needed. I am loving the colour. It's not... Okay, I want to say it's not exactly what I thought, but when I hold the... it is exactly like the colour on the tin. It's always so difficult to fully appreciate a colour when it's just like a little spot. Could I have swatched the table? Yes. Did I want to? No, so I didn't. But am I displeased? Definitely not. It's a gorgeous colour. It's definitely still a brown, but it has like an aubergine undertone. You know, it has a bit of a slight purpley undertone. It's very sumptuous. It's very nice. And I think it'll look extremely well once I remove the tape, and it's immediately paired with the golden cane. I think it's going to be absolutely stunning. But I'm just going to leave it to dry for now. How long? How long does this need to dry? Okay, it should be dry to the touch within 8 hours, and it says on the tin between 2 layers to let it dry for 24 hours, so I guess I'll do that. I'm so impatient. For someone who procrastinates like a lot, I'm also very impatient once I do get started. So yeah, okay, I guess I'll be doing the second layer tomorrow. We'll see. Going for a second layer of paint now. It took several days for the table to dry. Kept touching it underneath and it kept feeling tacky. I looked up why. It could be because I put too much paint on it. I don't think so, because it really does need a second layer of paint. Or it could be because the garage is either too cold, I think that's okay, or it just wasn't ventilated enough, so I'm going to leave the garage, the door not completely shut, you know, keep the holes open for ventilation. I think it took like 3-4 days for it to dry, but it is dry now. It is completely dry, so I'm going to go for a second layer. No idea how long that's going to take to dry, but yeah, that'll be the final step. Very excited, loving the colour. Final touches on the coffee table. Both layers of paint have dried, so I'm about to now rip off the masking tape and remove the foil from the cut plastic plexiglass that I had cut especially for the table. Before I do, just how stunning is this chair. I went to a thrift shop with a friend this morning, and I found this. Just how absolutely beautiful is this? So pleased with it. Just wanted to show you. So back to the coffee table. Hi, baby boy. Just hoping none of the paint came underneath. No, so far so good. I know, Pavlov, isn't it stunning? Let's hope none of the bunnies eat it or nibble on it, as they tend to do, unfortunately. Yes, perfect fit. So this was my first little makeover for a piece of furniture. I hope you enjoyed it. This definitely will not be my last. I did quite enjoy it. Certain aspects of it, hi Pavlov, certain aspects of it I had my doubts with while doing it, like the sanding, like am I doing something right, or am I now just damaging it? But it was fun, and I really enjoy how this now looks in my living room. The living room itself still has a lot to be done with, but I am enjoying bringing in pieces, either pieces of furniture or just little knickknacks that are like little promises of what the finished living room will look like, so that I can have an image or a vibe or an aesthetic to really cling on to. Like, this is what I'm growing, and this is what hopefully one day it will be. And this was one of my first little seeds that I'm growing for my future living room. I hope you enjoyed watching, and I'll see you next time. Doodles.